Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and we are broadcasting the Riley King Network here in Washington, D.C. at the U.S. Capitol Building. We are inside the U.S. Capitol Building, as you see right behind me. We are doing our evening news and weather here inside the Capitol Building. And then later on tonight, we will have special coverage of the State of the Union address by President Donald Trump. Let's begin with your news this evening. First up, former Nashua man resentenced for 1991 murder. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Former Nashua man will now serve 45 years to life for a...
Entrepreneurs, I'm Mark Cuban.
Hey, Amazon entrepreneurs, I'm Adam Grant.
I'm Ariana Huffington.
I'm Anderson Erickson.
Amy Cuddy, Susan Kane,
Charles Duhigg. Daniel.
The former Nashua man will now serve 45 years to life for a 1991 murder instead of life without parole. Eduardo Lopez Jr. was 17 years old when he shot and killed 31-year-old Robert Goyette during a robbery. He was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But in 2012, a U.S. Supreme Court opinion said that automatically giving juveniles life sentences without the opportunity for parole was unconstitutional. This morning, a judge resentenced Lopez to 45 years to life, meaning that he will be eligible for parole when he is 62 years old.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Woman rescued from flooded car after ocean breaches seawall. Firefighters had to come to the rescue of a woman trapped in her car on Warren Avenue Tuesday morning as the ocean breached the seawall and flooded the street, the Patriot Ledger reported. The woman's begun Cadillac had eventually stalled in the more than foot of water flooding Warren Avenue. Warren Avenue resident Mark Clark said his car was able to pass as he traveled in the other direction. Clark parked in one of the adjunct parking lots at the former Bart's restaurant location on Warren Avenue and watched as firefighters waded into the water to rescue the trapped driver. Fire Chief Ed Bradley said firefighters helped the woman from her car after she got stuck at the entrance to Plymouth Beach at 8:54 a.m. There was approximately a foot of water in the road at the time, and it was still an hour before high tide. Police and state highway crews shut down the road, detouring traffic around the area along M Road, Clifford Road, and Cliff Street. The woman was cold and wet and needed a ride, but declined medical attention at the hospital, Bradley said. There were no power outages in Plymouth related to the storm by late morning, but school was canceled for the fourth time this year. School officials initially hoped to open with a 2-hour delay, but conditions worsened, prompting the cancellation of all classes. A motorist in South Plymouth was shaken, but not injured when snow crashed down on his vehicle on the highway underpass. The driver was traveling under Route 25 on Bowner Road when the plow working the highway above plowed snow onto his vehicle, cracking the vehicle's windshield. Bradley said flooding on this section of Warren Avenue and also on the patch of Taylor Avenue are common occasions in Plymouth during a storm. Truck driver found guilty of manslaughter in double fatal crash. A jury has found a Tennessee truck driver guilty of causing a deadly crash in Knox County 2 years ago. The panel found Randall Weld, 55, guilty on 15 counts, including 2 counts of manslaughter. Police say Weld was drunk when his truck, which was carrying lumber, started a crash involving several cars on Route 17 in Washington in March 2016. Weld did not take the stand. Christina Torres York, 45, of Warren, and Paul Flowers, 74, of Owl's Head, were killed in the crash. The state had said Weld's recklessness was enough to convict him of manslaughter, even without considering drugs or alcohol. The defense claimed holes in the case provided a reasonable doubt that their client was guilty. And now let's take a look at your U.S. market and see how your U.S. market closed for this evening. And here's a look at the U.S. market for you all. Stocks drop the most since August. Dow loses 362 points. U.S. stocks closed sharply lower on Tuesday, falling for a second day as the first major sell-off of the new year intensified. Trump prepares for his must-see TV First State of the Union address. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
In the president's first State of the Union address, he's expected to focus on the economy, immigration, and national security. And our senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega, has more on how it's coming together behind the scenes. Good morning, Cecilia.
Hey, Robin, busy day here at the White House. The White House says that this is going to be must-see TV, that we all know this is a president who excels in prime time, so it will be definitely a big show. Behind the scenes here, exactly what President Trump will say tonight remains a bit of a mystery. I've got to say, a source tells me that even among those in the president's own inner circle, very few people have seen the entirety of the speech that he's going to give tonight. Unlike that American Carnage speech that the president gave during his inaugural address, this one, I'm told, will be the key phrase for it is going to be optimism, and that the president gave specific direction to staff members here that he wanted to see this as a positive and uplifting speech. For months, he's been passing along phrases and key lines that he wants to see in this speech tonight, but really the primary speechwriter is his senior policy advisor, Stephen Miller, a hardliner on immigration. I'm told the president did spend the weekend editing this speech and that he did a full practice run here in the White House map room yesterday. And and he'll be spending the day doing preps for the speech today, last-minute preps, Robin. But as you know, the White House says the entire First Family will be here there tonight in that chamber, from the First Lady, all of the president's children. But Barron is not going, Robin. It is a school night, you got to remember.
Yes, we do remember that. But speaking of the First Family, what can you tell us about the special guests that will be there tonight?
Well, these guests are going to give us a sense of what exactly the president is going to talk about. So let's take a look at who a few of them will be there in the First Lady's box. A family that benefits from the president's tax plan, parents of 2 daughters who were killed by the MS-13 gang, and small business owners. Democrats, a number of them, Robin, are protesting this speech and won't be there tonight.
All right, Cecilia, thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's turn things over to the weather now. Let's take a look and see what the weather is in Washington, D.C. right now. The weather in Washington, D.C. is fair/windy, 32 degrees. And for tonight, clear, windy this evening, low near 20 degrees, winds northwest winds at 20 to 30 miles per hour, decreasing to 5 to 10 miles per hour. And let's take a look at your weather back in New Hampshire. Your weather in New Hampshire is overcast, 29 degrees right now. For tonight, partly cloudy skies, low near 10 degrees. Tomorrow, sun to high clouds, high in the low 30s. And tomorrow night, a few snow showers possible, lows in the lower 20s. And that does it for your evening news and weather right here on the Riley King Network. And that does it for me, broadcasting live here in the U.S. Capitol Building in Washington, D.C. I'll be back with a news report later on this evening. And then we'll be back with your special coverage of the State of the Union address tonight, right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone. Goodbye, everyone.